Hey folks, once again it is Paul here for Hookah.org, and I have another video how-to for you. This one is for actually how to salvage an unwashable hose and convert it into a washable one. Now, most of you have unwashable hoses. They come with most hookahs pretty standard, and they will rust over time because they almost all invariably have a metal coil inside that is going to get wet, it is going to get rusty, and it's going to get nasty. And most hoses, I really just suggest ditching and buying a nice, high-quality washable hose. But with things like this, which is the hose from my Maya Colossus, which I was a really big fan of. I love the motif and the enameled handle, and I could not bear to part with this thing. So it was time for me to break out the tools, break out some vinyl tubing, and turn this into a washable hose. The process is pretty simple. With these you can unscrew the ends, and there's these little, hopefully that will focus in, we'll get that right in the center, I don't know, I'll have some higher quality pictures for you. But what you end up doing is you just take the nasty, nasty hose and you cut it apart. You open up the outer layer, you check out the inner coil inside, you realize how very rusty that actually was, and you just decide, ditch it. It's time for all of this to go away. Cut off all of the outer layer. A nice sharp knife will do well to cut through the string and the faux leather and all that. Then you take your pliers, you get a good grip on the metal coil that is usually pretty well seated in the end piece with some kind of epoxy or glue, and yank that out. It's really pretty simple, but please go slow. It can be a little dangerous, especially if you've cut the coil, because that will be a sharp edge pointing probably directly at you. From there, it's all about cleaning. You should do the usual clean job that you would do on a washable hose. Use a stiff bottle brush, something relatively thin and small, to clean out the actual end pieces, both the hose port end and the mouthpiece. And then clean up the center posts as much as you can, which involves usually digging out a lot of extra material that's gotten stuck in there, thanks to the really heavy glue job that a lot of these people do when it comes to gluing these hoses together. If they use something like that's not hot glue, a little bit of Goo Gone in the end, left to sit and left to soak overnight, can really help to loosen things up. And after that's done, you just go in there with a flathead screwdriver is usually what I end up using, and dig out as much as you possibly can. After that, I usually take some 220 grit sandpaper, which is a finishing sandpaper, but it does nicely on the metal to get off any remaining rust and to get rid of any like glue residue that could impede adhesion later on. At this point, I take the end piece and the mouthpiece and I wash it all very nicely with some soap and water. Warm water, mild soap, and make sure it's very clean. You don't want any of the metal flakes or metal dust to be left inside there where you're going to be drawing your smoke from. That also allows everything to be nice and clean so that, again, the glue will adhere nicely. Now, from here you just cut a nice piece of vinyl tubing. Vinyl tubing, food grade, can be found at most home improvement stores. Most places like Home Depot or Lowe's or other places like that. If you can't find it there, you can order it online. It's very cheap. You usually buy it by the coil or the spool, and you'll have way more than you need, but you can build a really nice long hose that has some good flex to it and have plenty of extra tubing left over for further build projects or making your own hoses or whatever might come down the pipeline, so to speak. For adhering the vinyl tubing to the actual mouthpiece and end piece, I suggest hot glue. Be careful not to actually touch the hot glue gun to the vinyl because it will melt it. But so long as you are careful, you should end up with a nice seal that is airtight, watertight, and will end up lasting for a very long time, but isn't so strong that you're not able to break the seal and get the glue off should you ever want to replace the hose for whatever reason. Say a coal drops on it, or it gets cut or short or something like that. Really, that's about it. It's not the prettiest thing in the world. I mean, I know some people really love watching the smoke go through the hose, which you can see it's kind of milky white right now because it is filled with delicious, delicious smoke. But I'm actually going to end up taking this and probably doing some braiding along the outside in a traditional, maybe even southwestern style. I don't know. We'll see what I do. I like making things pretty, and that will be another guide for another time. So that's it. This really is all there is to rebuilding a hose and making it a non-washable hose into a washable hose. I suggest using one that's going to go in the trash anyway for the first time that you do this build project, because you really don't want to mess up a really nice hose and potentially wind up with just a useless hose and as a result kind of a useless hookah. So if you've got one that you're going to throw away, tear it apart, see what you can do, follow this guide, and I think you'll be pretty happy with the results. So that's it. Once again, this is Paul for Hookah.org saying thank you very much for joining us. Please go down below, like and subscribe. Give us that thumbs up. It really helps us out much more than you probably realize. And make sure to check out the forums. We've got new contests going up all the time, and we've got new content going up to the website. New blog posts, new how-tos, new reviews, new interviews, and things like that every month. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Please leave a comment. And also, the forums are the only place that you can find information regarding the contests that we have going on, which right now we have a holiday contest in the mix, which is really worth your time. I promise you it is worth an entry. So that's it. This is Paul once again saying thank you very much for joining us here at Hookah.org, and happy smoking.